My daughter's a captain of the cheer team, by the way. One
nice.
of the other. So she's a back spot also. So
Tall?
She's tall and
Okay.
strong.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what it takes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to be back spot.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see all these things, and she's walking around sore. You know, legs are sore. Everything's always sore because she's just constantly moving and doing stuff. It's a hard thing. But you grew up just essentially everything you did was. I mean, you were up on your feet.
Yeah.
Doing something.
All the time.
Yeah. Or unless you were studying.
Yeah, unless I was studying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, before all this happened, did you ever have trouble? Because your dad's super positive. Like every time I see him, it's just positivity. I imagine he has bad days, like everybody, but he's like Mr. Positive. So is that kind of how you've lived your life, or did you ever have struggles as a teenager? I mean, I think maybe every teenager does with feeling down, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I totally had struggles as a teenager feeling down. And honestly, I mean, if it's okay to talk about, my parents went through a divorce when I was 11. And there was a lot of things that went on in between there that, like, I struggled with. I struggled with my parents not being together anymore. And I struggled with feeling alone a lot. And just kind of like, who do I talk to about this stuff? And so, yeah, I did feel down. But also, I don't know, I feel like I have always tended to be like, okay, but what can I do right now? What can I do to make my life better right now?
What can you control?
Yeah, what can I control right now?
Yeah.
And I've tended to always focus on that when I'm feeling down and have struggles. And you know, you have regular struggles in high school too, like your boyfriend broke up with you, right? You're gonna have a hard time with that. And you know what? I cried during those times. And so, yeah, you have those typical high school stuff as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so I've been divorced a lot, married a lot. I'm on my third marriage right now. And so all of my kids, with the exception of the last one, have gone through that. So, you know, my parents were divorced. I think it's kind of, you know, one of those things sort of traditionally handed
Hardest
down.
thing I went through until my own personal divorce. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
challenging. Yeah.
So as a kid dealing with that, it's, you know, the back and forth and going to, you know, one person's house and another house and, you know, all the kind of stuff. That is draining. And I never realized it because my parents divorced when I was really young. So I don't actually remember a whole lot about them being together. I was like 5 when they separated, right? So, but I see my daughters and my son, and both my sons, they have these struggles, and it's sort of, it's different than what I went through because they were older, like you. They were, you know, 11, 12 years old, at least the oldest one, when that happened. And she's my daddy's girl. And, but even now, she still will count like the anniversary, like you guys would have been together for this long.
Oh yeah.
You know, this year, you know what I mean? So there's a struggle there that you know, all the.
And I think a lot of kids, like my parents, there was always this kind of fascination in the back of my mind, like, what if they get back together? What if somehow they, you know, there is kind of that.
Yeah.
For a lot of years, I had that, you know, as a teenager and kind of even growing up, even my young adulthood, kind of wondered if that would be a possibility. And, you know, everybody wants that kind of ideal, I think, sometimes, or daydreams about that ideal sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, you know, that kind of like, it's sort of a breakup again when you realize this is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
And then I realized, like, holy crap. They would just kill each other, so there's no point anyways. You know, like that's, you know, like,
It was for the best.
Yeah.
I feel like that comes later, though, like when you finally have that realization.
Exactly. Like I was older when I realized, like, man, it's a good thing they're not together because it would have been ugly. You know what I mean? And I think also, like, for me, and I think, like, 2 divorces, 3 wives, there is a common denominator there, right? And it sort of, like, woke me up to think about, like, where do I need to tune myself up? You know, like, what am I doing that gets me to this point? You know what I mean? I think there's always things you can control, but if you don't take the time to, like, really talk about or think through what you can control at that moment and, like, analyze who you are and what you can do better, then you just sort of fall into the same traps and routines.